You're listening to Family Business with Daphne. Welcome. I'm so excited. Today I'm calling it the Money Show, right? The number one objection as you're sharing this message of family business with family and friends. I'm sure it's, well, we can't afford that. There's no way. We don't have any money. We're living paycheck to paycheck, or we have a lot of money, but it's all dedicated to other projects. We can't take on this new family business project. Money. We're going to talk about that today because I believe money is the least of your worries when you're venturing into family business. My name is Daphne. If you're a new listener, this is a show to inspire and encourage you to start and launch your own family business. That's right. Working with your members, your fellow members, your family on an enterprise, something that will generate wealth, not only for yourself, your family, but your community. The ability to uplift others out of poverty is just one of the blessings and fruits of a family business. So you're listening to the right show. A little bit about me, if you don't know. I write nationally for several publications, including Entrepreneur Magazine and the Huffington Post, where I get to profile and interview amazingly successful entrepreneurs and family business owners. In fact, the last column I just did last week was a father and son team. They own an investment management firm. That was exciting. Not only have they grown a wildly successful investment management firm, but they decided, hey, we're going to pay it back. So they went to the Brooklyn College and started up this program for very underprivileged, economically disadvantaged students to participate in, where they get to run their own hedge fund. Can you imagine that? On a college campus in the middle of New York, running your own hedge fund because they want to teach them investment strategies and kind of give them a leg up that they may not have. So those are the sorts of stories I get to profile for Entrepreneur Magazine. Make sure you check that out. Also in the Huffington Post. And I also write about emotional intelligence because guess what? Like I said, money is the least of your worries in the family business. It really has to do with relationships, how you communicate with one another, how you build one another up instead of cutting each other down. So you can learn more about that. Go to my blog. If you want to figure out what Daphne's up to all over the place, whether it's TV, radio, or writing, go to my blog, daphnemallory.blogspot.com. And you have to like my Facebook page, Daphne Mallory ESQ, because I post nerdy things too. Like my daughter and I had an opportunity to watch the Avengers finally. For those of you who may not know, that's my daughter aspires to be a movie maker and an animation movie maker. So it was more like a business / homeschool field trip all in one. But we posted a very nerdy review of the Avengers really quickly on my Facebook page. So you have to like that page so you get to know that side of me as well. But today is the Money Show. We get to talk about how do you start a family business when you're living paycheck to paycheck, or when you really don't have a lot of money. Even if you do have a lot of money, how does this get done? So I'm going to kind of lay out a 5-step process. And if I have enough time, I may extend it to 10, or maybe it's the second show. I don't know yet. But I'm going to lay out for you a 5-step process on how you can start your family business with zero or little money. Because, and I'm hoping you will buy into this. This is the one thing I want you to get from the show, if nothing else, okay? Having little to no money, not a problem. It really is not a problem. And hopefully I can kind of prove my case a little bit today. So the first thing I want you to do as you're thinking about sitting around a family table, having this discussion, yeah, we love listening to Daphne. Yeah, we got this. We've caught the vision, but we cannot even pay the electric bill this month. Okay, how does this get done? Step number 1, I want you first and then your family to shed. What do I mean by that? Julie Morgenstein is an organizational expert. She used to appear on the Oprah Winfrey Show. She used to appear on other talk shows and for magazines and on the Today Show, etc., talking about how to organize your life. She's written many productivity books, but she wrote a book called Shed, Shed. And the premise of Shed is that there is a way to organize your life in such a way when you're in transition. And if you are in transition, going from an employee to an entrepreneur or from an entrepreneur to a family business owner, there are certain ways that you need to organize your life so that you can really be creative and productive and wildly successful when you do transition to the other side. So she wrote this book called When Organizing Isn't Enough, Shed. And it's basically teaching you how to shed your stuff and change your life. So what is Shed? So Shed basically is this 4-step process of how to get rid of things that are weighing you down, that really don't fit into your new identity, your new direction, and your new mission. And this is so important, okay? This is something I had to do for myself as an entrepreneur. Let me tell you a little bit about my struggles in this area. Because I grew up poor. And I grew up poor not because my family initially was poor, but because pending war robbed me of that childhood, and I was literally dumped into poverty. I'm originally from Liberia, and just before our first civil war, I was the only one in my family to get a visa out of the country, and I was sent to live with a family. It was a blessing, and eventually made my way to the U.S. But I left a situation in Liberia where really, as a kid, I really did have it all. I really did. But being ejected out of the country for safety reason, everything was pulled, up under my feet, and I was thrown into poverty in both countries, both in England and in the U.S. So I grew up poor. And what that did for me, unfortunately, that mindset, which it took years to overcome, and quite frankly, to this day, I have to catch myself and catch it. But I developed a hoarding thing, a financial hoarding, okay? And not for, because I wanted to have nice things. It was like, how can I hold on to this and resell it later? Or how can I save money in the future because I've got this thing, I've got children. And so let me just go ahead and stock up 6 sizes up, right? So that I don't have to worry about this later in life because, hey, I've already stocked this. So that's money well saved. And I thought this was a good thing. I also, quote unquote, hoarded books. Lots of books on business, leadership, legal books, on and on and on and on and on. And for me, in my mentality, this is how you overcome poverty, right? If you find a 25-cent textbook, which I did often through yard sales, thrift stores, etc., hey, that's $20, $30, $50 I just saved. So yeah, I'm going to buy that thing, even though I may not get to it for another year, and I'm going to hold on to it. And I thought this was good practice. However, what I learned in the most roundabout way was that all of these things that I was accumulating with good intentions, very good intentions, survival mode, want to provide for my family, don't want them to have the lack that I've had to have. So let me get it now for a quarter, even though it's worth $50. And hey, I'm a great mom, right? What I didn't realize what was happening to me was that I was actually closing doors in my mind, in my life, because I was surrounded by stuff. And I had to learn how to shed. So what is shed? Shed is the process where I say, okay, this is my identity. I am an entrepreneur. By definition, an entrepreneur has the ability to create something out of nothing. So when the time comes, and it will, when I have need of something, I don't have to hoard for it. What I need to do is get creative, problem solve, and get it at that time. And I don't have to stuff my mind and my life up and pretty much plug up my creativity because I'm surrounded by too much, which takes up not only physical space, but mind space. So I use this process shed even to this day because you never stop, as I'm transitioning from legal to business now to television. That's a whole new part of my family business where it really always has been going towards, but now it's really there and opening up. Now I have to think, okay, Daphne, my old identity was attorney and, business expert and consultant, but now it's television. So I'm looking around me going, okay, books and papers, clothing, makeup, whatever. Do these things comport with this identity? And if it doesn't, I have to be brave enough to shed. I need to get rid of it. I need to donate it. Hey, I could try to sell it depending on what it is, but it does not meet my future. And so I'm not going to carry it there. So that's the process of shed. It is an acronym. S is to separate. You separate the treasures from the trash. What are the treasures? Well, where are you going as a family right now in terms of your family business? If it does not fit that identity for your family as dictated by your vision statement, which hopefully came from God, but I don't know where yours came from. That's where mine came from. If it does not fit that identity, you've got to separate it. It's trash, even though it might be valuable. And that is the sore spot, right? You've got this valuable thing. It cost you $50, $300, $1,000 to get, but it doesn't fit. And it's painful. I can hear it. It is painful to think, what? I've got to get rid of this? Yes, because trust me, it's taking up mind space that could be used to create wealth. Get rid of it. Separate the treasures from the trash. And then the H in shed is heave it. So how do you heave it? Well, if it's broken, get rid of it. Throw it out. Don't be afraid. Don't try to patch it up and fix it. Get rid of it. Donate it. That's a great option. Sell it. Or just pass it along. Gift it to someone. Hey, other family member or friend or colleague, coworker, whatever. I saw that you were in need of this. Can I bless you with this? And just pass it on. E in shed is embrace. Embrace your identity. Say it with me. I am an entrepreneur. Embrace that. As an entrepreneur, I'm a creative thinker. I have the ability to create wealth. Get used to it. I am a family business owner. My family has my back. We are in this together. Together, we will create wealth, leave a legacy, develop our communities, help others, be philanthropic, be humanitarians. Just start embracing that. And then get rid of anything that does not comply. And D. So you've separated the treasure, you've heaved the trash, you've embraced your identity, and now you're going to be driven in a new direction. And that direction, if you're listening to this show, is towards entrepreneurship and family business ownership. Okay? So that's step one. Yes, I am still on the money issue. The way you want to deal with money is you want to free up your life. Free up your mind so that you can create wealth, okay? And in the process, literally create a little bit of wealth through selling. So that's number one. The second way, the second step is to control your cash flow. So the typical financial advice is, create a budget and try to stick to it and make adjustments along the way. That's great. For entrepreneurs and family business owner, is not so much the budget that you need to master. You need to master your cash flow statement. How does money flow into your home and out? How does that work? What are the income sources? And when it comes in, let's say January 1st, let's say, how does it then go back out? And again, into February, and then how does it come back out? What percent of the money you are getting from whatever the sources may be, are you actually keeping? That's way more important than budgeting. Are you currently able to keep 10% of the monies that you earn? Or is it just 0%? Money comes in and all of it goes out. So challenge number one is to map out your cash flow. Starting from the beginning of this year, we got 2,000, 20,000, 2 million in, and out went 2,000, 15,000, 1 million, whatever. Track it. And then how did it flow into the next month? And then what went out? And then I want you to see, are you actually keeping at least, at bare minimum, 10% of monies that you are receiving? I don't care how wealthy you are. If you can't hold on to 10%, that's a problem. This is not just for the poor. This is for the rich. Rich or poor. Can you hang on to 10% of what it is you are earning or receiving? So once you hit that 10% level, so you should definitely be making that your first goal, take it up a notch. 20%. Can we keep 20%? Great. Kick it up a notch. 30%. Can we keep 30%? Now, this is tricky because what I don't want you to do is get into a scarcity mindset and start hoarding your cash and not investing it in the right places, right? Investing it in your children's training, investing it in your own training, investing it in serving the poor in your community. So I don't want you to become miserly about this. But what I do want you to do is start making some decisions that align up with your values. What do you value? And the monies that are going out of your home, out of your life, are they aligning with your values? And if not, then what needs to go? Is paying a monthly streaming service more valuable than using that same money to have a email campaign go out once a month? I don't know. What are your values? Is it worth dining out 3 times a week at the expense of being able to hire a virtual assistant for $10 an hour for a few hours a week? What are your values? I'm not going to make that judgment call for you. For me, I had to assess what my values were. And yes, there are a lot of things I had to let go of that were discretionary. There are, for instance, outfits. The outfits that you'll see me in during the day go between what I need for television appearance or social events or business attire to mom at home enjoying my jeans and my sweatshirts. Everything in between, not something that I valued and would rather put that money in towards, exposing my children to experiences and providing them with a quality educational experience that I provide. What are your values? You have to make that decision. And then you need to work towards controlling the cash flows, because what do you then do with that 10, 20, 30% that goes into your family business? That's how you build it up. If you are starting with zero to little money. So that is your challenge. Take the 10% challenge, then hike it up to 20, Then hike it up to 30. Have a family meeting. Family, this is where we're going. We want to be the wealth creators, job creators, philanthropists in our communities. We are the blank family. We are entrepreneurs. We are in this together. We are die hard for this vision and future to come to pass so that your children will be blessed. So let's give up 3 times a week eating out for the next year. Can we do this? Great. And when this is all said and done, Lord willing, we'll be able to pay for your college education in full while you're still building up a business, on and on and on. Cast a vision, making it exciting. Show the benefits, show the rewards. Don't make it all about, oh no, we're not going to ever eat again. Or, we're not ever going to have fun again. No, because you have to have fun, right? You have to have some social activity. So please be very careful in where you trim. Because I know some of y'all entrepreneurs, okay, well, this is not a business expense. So out goes the fun towards, this activity that my kids have loved for years. Don't do that. You must have some fun along the way. But it is a time to hunker down and get serious and build up your family business when you're dealing with little cash or zero cash. Now, the third way to do this then. So we're building this from the inside out. We're starting from inside the family, dealing with our stuff that we're shedding, right? And then we're dealing with our cash flow statement. Now we're building outwards, selling. Yes. Number 3, Daphne, of all, step 3 is selling. Yes. When you have zero to little cash, you must excel at selling. Now, all entrepreneurs should be great salespeople, but you especially must excel when it comes to selling, when you are dealing with and trying to build a family business with little to no cash. What are you going to sell? First of all, you need to be able to sell people on your ideas. Now, let's say it takes $20,000 to hire an assistant in your community. I'm just pulling out a number. Someone that can help you on a part-time basis and handle your business for you. But you don't have $20,000, right? That's why we're kind of just talking today. Well, can you sell someone on your idea? Can you sell that assistant on partnering with you or hanging in there with you until this gets built up to a point that you can pay them? Can you sell them on working on commission only until you're able to provide a salary? Can you sell them on foregoing benefits that they could go out there and get from some other company in a completely unrelated field? Can you sell them? Can you sell? Here's my favorite, because trust me, I've been on the other side of this where musicians and artists, business owners, and other people have pitched this to me. Hey, Daphne, attorney, I can't afford your legal fees, but guess what? If you would you get a cut. Of course, you can go to a legal professional and try to sell your idea in exchange for them giving you a contingency fee or percentage fee of some sort instead of shelling out $150, $200, $300, $400 per hour, right? Yes. Could you sell me? Can you sell another attorney on waiving those legal costs or holding them back or having them do it on a contingency fee basis? Can you sell some other business partners? Hey, I love the technology. I could be the inventor, but I need someone to go out there and market this and get this sold so we can get a license. Could you sell a potential business partner on your idea so that they can come in for a percent? I mean, we're talking about working long hours, perhaps even for years before they could see a payout. So you need to know how to sell. So how do you sell? How does this work? Some of you And I understand this because I have seen and I've been dismayed at some of the typical standard business training that's available out there for free. A lot of agencies that do good. There are many ways that they contribute and values that they provide, but I am just shocked at the number of times where I see that no one talks about selling. It's all about marketing. How do you market yourself? How do you get on the web, and how do you use social media? That's great. And there's a place for that. And I'll certainly talk about that as well. But my priority, even before marketing, is sales. I'm teaching all of my children how to sell, because whether it's being a student, being an entrepreneur, being a philanthropist, being a public figure, I don't care what the profession is, you need to know how to sell ideas, products, and services. So let's briefly talk about the sales process, because I realize that many of you don't even know the sales process. Quick, if I asked you, give me a 5-step sales process, could you tell me step 1, step 2, all the way through 5? Maybe not. It's just not being taught. There are different models, but here's one that I like. Okay, so make sure you're taking notes, or talking to your phone so that you can listen to this later. But the first step in a sales process model would be to establish your relationship. Did you know that selling is really all about forming relationships? Do you know how to establish relationships? Hopefully you know how to do that within your own family, right? But externally, can you go to the influencers, the gatekeepers in your industry, in your community, wherever it is you need to thrive as a family business owner? Do you know how to establish a relationship? What does that look like? When's the last time you practiced hospitality? When's the last time you invited someone over to your home to share a meal? Or perhaps you were feeling extremely awkward about inviting someone over to your home, which I completely understand. But when's the last time perhaps you took someone to a coffee shop or to a restaurant, or to share a meal and to discuss your idea? Okay, that's part of the process of establishing a relationship. When is the last time you served someone where it wasn't about you, it wasn't about your aspirations, you simply wanted to serve someone, and in the process, you wanted to develop a relationship with them? To me, that's one of the best and fastest way to establish a relationship. Be of service. Serve someone. Help them out with their cause. Help them out with their charities, especially when you're dealing with people with influence. How can you help them accomplish their goals? Not just their business goals, but their philanthropic goals. How can you serve? So service, meals, figure out what works for you in terms of your personality. If you're an introvert or an extrovert, if it's phone calls, if it's face-to-face, figure it out and learn to harness the skill set of establishing relationships with people. That is step 1 of the sales process. Number 2, need recognition. You're going to have to understand the needs of the person you're trying to sell to, not what you hope your service or product can provide. Okay. You're not trying to push your needs onto them. You need to be able to hold conversations with people and figure out their pain point. What is it that they're missing? What's keeping them up at night? What problem haven't they solved? And then you tailor whatever it is you're doing in response to that, because that's how you become valuable. That's selling. If I could summarize selling in a phrase, it would be meet a need. And I know that sounds so strange, but if you approach selling as, oh, let me just push on my products and services onto someone, they might just have a blank stare, because it's like, I don't need that. And they'll wait politely, or sometimes they don't wait politely for you to finish your elevator pitch. But if they don't need it, they're not going to be sold. So understand their needs. Do you know how to recognize a need? And more importantly, Do you know how to shape and tailor your products and services in such a way that they recognize, oh, this person is selling this, and this meets my need, and this takes away my pain. This solves my problem. So that's step 2 of the sales process. And when we come back, I will continue with the rest of that. So stay tuned. You are listening to Family Business with Daphne. See you on the other side.
There's a price tag on almost everything. Whether you drive a shiny new 1952 model or a pre-war jalopy, you had to pay the price. And when you're driving that car, remember that speed also has its price. The price tag on speed violations last year was 15,000 killed and 500,000 injured. This year, thousands of lives can be saved if you and millions of other motorists come to the sober realization that speed is the biggest killer on the highways and resolve to slow down before you or someone else pays the price that must be paid for it. You can do your part by keeping within speed limits. At all times, drive as though your life depends on it. It does.
What does Alison Krauss remember about music class when she was a kid?
My fondest memory of music class is kind of just an overall memory, not a specific instance, because music was something completely different than any other class in school. It was, I remember it as all being fun, and the reward wasn't, a great test score, and it wasn't a higher grade. It was getting to be a part of an ensemble and singing something at the end where everybody knew their part. It was all fun and games to me, and you made friends. I found that you made friends that lasted a really long time, at least the ones that, for me, that have lasted the longest are ones that I met in school chorus or in music classes, and not who I sat next to in math.
A PSA brought to you by the National Association for Music Education. March is Music in Our Schools Month.
Every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti. Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
What? Why? Just wait for the inheritance. We've definitely got a rich uncle somewhere. We're one call away from the winner's circle at the Derby, dinners with multiple forks, a vacation home in the country, using summer as a verb.
You don't actually think that, do you?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Family Business with Daphne, the show that is encouraging you to start a family business. Wow. Start a family business. Grow an enterprise. Learn and grow together. Build wealth together. Leave a legacy. These are all powerful statements I understand and appreciate, but I'm telling you, that's how to get it done. That's how you can create wealth, not only for yourself, but for others. And to learn more tips and tricks and strategies, be sure to check out my blog, daphnemallory.blogspot.com, and like my Facebook page, Daphne Mallory ESQ. So we're talking about sales and selling. Again, this show is about, well, Daphne, how do I get this done? I have no money or I have little money. And I'm talking about even my wealthy friends who have lots of money, but they're stretched thin all over the place because they're doing so much. How do we create this additional wealth so we can start our business today? So first, we talked about the shed process, embracing this new identity that you have as an entrepreneur, as a family business owner, and getting rid of everything in your life that does not comply. Everything else. Donate it, sell it, gift it. Secondly, you want to control your cash flow. It's not about the family budget. It's fine if you want to create one, but really it's not effective for the family business owner. You need to understand cash flow. How does money flow into your family, into your life, and how does it flow out? And then are you able to keep at minimum 10%? Great. Once you've figured out the 10%, we're keeping 10%, hike it up to 20%, and then hike it up to 30%. And all of that money needs to be invested into growing your family enterprise. And then, third step, learn how to sell. All entrepreneurs should learn how to sell, but especially if you are in a situation where you're starting with zero or little money. That's the secret sauce. You have to learn how to sell. Well, sell what? Sell your ideas so that you can get extra help, so that you can get partners, so that you can get legal fees delayed, so that you can get technologies from people who are gifted in that area, but you're not, but they have a buy-in to your vision. So they're coming on board, and on the back end, you are rewarding them with a commission or a percentage, however you structure that. Learn how to sell ideas. And then, of course, learn how to sell what you're actually selling if it's not ideas, your products and your services. So before the break, we started talking about the sales step process because for some reason, unfortunately, selling is not really being emphasized anymore. That's crazy. We are all salespeople. You must learn how to sell, even if you don't like it. You just have to do it. So number one, you're going to learn how to establish relationships, right? Because that's number one in the sales process. You need to learn how to establish relationships, and then you want to identify a need. Don't throw your products, services, and ideas onto people. Figure out what their pain point is. What are they missing in their life, in their world, in their family, in their business, in their community, in their politics, whatever it is. Figure out the need and then tailor your solutions to meet that need as it pertains to the idea or product or service that you're offering. So again, you form that solution and then you have to learn to actually close the sale. Now, some entrepreneurs get lost here. You've made a great presentation. You've shown a great video. You've taken someone out to dinner for the 10th time. You've done the 15th speech to this one organization. You've done free training and free this and here's a free sample. And you've done business proposals and on and on and on. You've shown a prototype. And then you did not do this one thing. You did not ask for the sale. Daphne, does this look satisfactory to you? Can I have your signature here, please? Can you sign this contract today? Daphne, I enjoyed the time we've spent together. Hopefully I've shown that my creativity will work for you in this area. Can we have a handshake? Can we have a deal? Can I do this for you? Whatever it is, however you close, can I have this contract? Can I have this service agreement? Can I start Monday? People don't ask. You have not because you ask not. Does that sound familiar? I tell you, sidetrack, the Bible is one of the best business books you'll ever read. I want you one day to consider reading some key books out of the Bible and specifically look at it as a business manual. My favorites, Deuteronomy, Joshua. Yes, I said the book of Joshua, Matthew, Luke, John, and of course, the Proverbs and the Psalms. Just throwing it out there. Look at it as a business how-to manual for family business ownership and entrepreneurship. You'll be blown away. But anyway, so that's where I got that, you have not because you ask not. That came right out of the Bible. And it's true. You have not because you ask not. Learn to ask for things. Learn to ask for what you want. Learn to ask for business. That's all that means in terms of closing the sale. And then once that's done, so you're thinking, great, I got my proposal, my contract. They've even sent a deposit or they've paid me in full or, it's in escrow or it's guaranteed. I know they're good for it. The sales process is done, right? Wrong. It keeps going. Now you have to deliver. The worst sales technique, and I've seen it over and over again, is when you close the sale and then you don't deliver, or you deliver poorly. Sure, your family can come clean my house once a month, or my office once a month, or my large studio once a month, and you don't show up, or you don't clean it properly, you don't do a thorough job, you find paperwork and you start gossiping about the person that has hired you, and that spreads and you lose your credibility, on and on and on, right? Or sure, you can sell my home or my office, Mr. or Mrs. Real Estate Agent, and you said you could sell it and you did it in a short amount of time. You basically over promised, under delivered. You did not provide these specific products, or there were like cheap products when the person was expecting value, on and on and on. You did not complete a prototype, or it was out of specs, or, the contractor fees that you promised ended up doubling, and you came up with a bunch of excuses as to why this project now costs twice as much as you originally stated, right? That's where the sales process can equally blow up in your face. The point of actually delivering your products, your service. Selling continues even beyond that point, that step. So make sure you deliver excellent products and services as promised. And if you can even over deliver, that just hands down every single time will work to your benefit, because that's how you get referrals, right? You want referrals. You want the person that you just served to say, hey, I know this person, they could use that too. Maybe I could call them for you and you could go pay them a visit. So sell by delivering excellent products and services. Do what you say. That is so key. And then after that, what? There's an after? I thought I just finished. I delivered. Well, that's when you can ask for your referrals. Ask for someone else. Who else do you know that could use this product or service, or what else could I provide to you in the future as a result? How can I cultivate this relationship? How can I serve you better in the future? How can I do more business with you? That's selling. Is that so hard? No. Sometimes what we have to do is overcome our own insecurities and fear of rejection. I don't want someone to tell me no. That's horrible. I'm going to cry, or I'm going to feel bad, or they'll never want to be my friend again, or whatever. Get over it. I mean, think of the opposite side of that, right? All of those feelings of, feeling of fear of rejection. What's the other side? That your family suffers, that you don't generate enough wealth to supply their just basic needs, and then at some point their non-basic needs, but that will help to encourage them to grow and become successful in life also, and they don't have to start from ground zero like you. I mean, really? No? That's going to stand in the way of you doing this for your family? I don't think so. Next. So now that hopefully I've hammered in the selling part, right? So after understanding that you need to sell, what you can do next as someone who may not have all the money in the world, you're dealing with zero to little cash, is you want to employ guerrilla marketing techniques. Now, many of you have probably already heard of J. Conrad Levinson. He's the father of guerrilla marketing. And basically, it's how can you use free, low cost, affordable ways to get your message out there so that you can build up your business. And, for our situation, we're talking about how can we build up our family business, right? When we have zero to little cash, what is some low cost way to go about this? And so he discussed all of these different strategies that you can use. And the key is what fits right for my family business. So my family business, as I've explained, is ballooning into, that word was ballooning. It kind of just all came out at once, but ballooning into the television industry. And so door hangers, which is partly what he mentions, won't fit my business. That doesn't work for what I'm doing in terms of the television industry. But getting on the phone a lot, and whether I'm talking to publicists, other celebrities, other producers, other people in the industry, that's key. And so paying that telephone bill that allows me to have all this data and connectivity and being able to access information on my phone via internet, texting, graphics, downloading this stuff on the fly if I'm not home and have a computer by it's huge. It's a huge expense. Nothing that I certainly would ever pay for on a personal level, but I need that for my business to grow my family business. And therefore, that is part of my low cost, even though it's painful, but it's still a low cost way for me to do marketing. Whereas the door hanger approach does not work for my business. However, that might work for your business, sticking in, 8x11, printing something that you can do right at home, sticking it in the laundromat, the grocery store, putting it in mailboxes, follow the codes and laws for wherever you live for that, of course. But that might work for your business. So the idea with guerrilla marketing tactics, he lists hundreds of them, is you don't try to achieve all 100. That doesn't make any sense. You pick and choose what works for your family business. So here are some examples, and you could definitely find it online. But some examples would be postcards. Now, what family business owner could benefit from postcards? Well, if you're in the real estate industry, maybe a postcard makes sense. If you are a speaker or trainer, if your family does conferences, maybe a postcard does make sense. It won't make sense for the inventor who wants to get a license deal for his or her new invention, scientific technology, mobile device, or whatever it is, but it might make sense for the real estate agent. Here are some other examples. Ads in free publications. Now, some publications still charge, but maybe they charge a low fee, or maybe it's completely free. For instance, there are online classifieds, right? I'm sure you know of 3 free online classifieds where you can just go and post things about your products and services. And maybe that works perfect for your industry. Maybe your business is very, very localized, and posting locally makes complete sense in these free classifieds. Maybe they're even specialized classifieds where everyone in town is going to go to this one publication to find great deals on XYZ. And that completely fits your family business. So yeah, you should be in there. Maybe it costs $2 for the entire ad. And maybe that makes complete sense to do that on a weekly basis. But that would be an example of a low cost marketing technique. How about newsletters that are completely delivered to your email boxes? That might make sense, especially if you're an expert and you want to feature your expertise. I mean, it goes on and on. What about public relations, which I love? I've done shows on this. Make sure you check it out. How to grow your family business with publicity. You are in such a unique position as a family business owner because you've got a great story to tell. Your family coming together, working together without killing one another always, right? People want to hear about that. They want to know that this is being done. And they want you to share your personal life and your struggles as well as your victories. And you will have an amazing platform in print, on radio, on television to tell your story. And that's another guerrilla marketing technique, if you will. So the possibilities of low-cost marketing are absolutely out there. And I'll just have you do the research. Go online again, J. Conrad Levinson, Guerrilla Marketing, and go to my blog, daphnemallory.blogspot.com, for more tips and tricks and techniques for how to grow your business using marketing, publicity, etc. But I should probably make this distinction between selling and marketing, because there's a lot of confusion about that. If you don't get that straight as a family business owner, then you're just going to slow down your growth. Marketing primes your market. It prepares the way, gets people used to you, used to your family, used to the idea. It creates an understanding and knowledge about who you are, what it is you do. Selling is different. Selling is like you're hunting it down. You're trying to get a business. You're trying to get dollars into your pockets or other monies from my global listeners, right? In other currencies. You're trying to get to the point where there's a handshake, a contract, exchange of monies and goods and services. That's what you're trying to get to. And that's the process we discussed earlier. So you don't want to confuse what you're doing in social media with selling, because you may not ever be able to convert what you're doing in the social media realm or marketing realm to actually getting paid to feed your family. And a lot of people get stuck there. Daphne, I've created all this video. I've done all these blog posts. I've done all of these posts on social media, and I have 59 Pinterest boards, and I've got on and on and on and on. What's missing? What's missing? Selling. Selling is missing. Marketing says, hello world, this is who I be. This is who I am. This is who we are. Here's how we're here to help you. Selling, great. Now that you know that, may I have your business? Can we do business together? Here is how you deposit that money for this business. Or this is what percentage we could work out, or whatever it is. And that's the disconnect that I see between all of those activities in the marketing realm and why those people are not buying your ideas, products, or services, because you're not converting them. You're not making them a believer. And you're only a believer when they pay. And that's selling. How do you get people to pay? How do you get them to enter into a business relationship with you? So it's so important as entrepreneurs and as family business owners to get about the business of selling as well as marketing. Yeah, you don't want to show up and people have no idea who you are, what you do, because they're just going to send you back, hey, let me think about that. I'll get back to you. Let me do some more research, on and on and on. You want to avoid that. And that's how marketing can help. And so that's it. That's the first steps you need to take towards building your family business if you have zero or little cash. You've got to shed. Then you've got to control your cash flow. Then you have to learn how to sell. You have to practice it on a daily basis. Yes, of course, you should know your products and services inside and out, and I'm sure you do. And you will continually have to learn and grow that. But in addition to that, you should be growing your sales skills as well. And then finally, figure out the right marketing mix for your business. What are the guerrilla marketing tactics you need to employ? The low cost, affordable, and sometimes even free ways to market yourself and get the word out. You've been listening to Family Business. I just want to encourage you. I know that was kind of hard hitting, but you can and you must get this done for yourself, for your family, and for everyone else that's waiting for you to shine. See you next time.
103.9 KDKI, Twin Falls.